2 years ago in Tuscaloosa, some words were said.
Let's go. Right here in the middle of the damn field. Let's bring it down, take it on three. Hell yeah. Because this is our house from now on. Yes, sir. Take it on three.
Well, Alabama will be looking this weekend to prove whose house it really is. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media. Hey, thanks for watching and tuning in today. I really do appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers. I don't think it's going to happen, but I was hoping to reach that by my 2-year anniversary of the channel on December 9th. It'll be my 20th birthday. But either way, I love each and every one of you. The channel's growing faster than I thought it would. Let's just keep it going. Let's keep building the brand and what we want to do here with Ballard Sports Media. That being said, I want to make this one quick and to the point today, really, and get down to it. LSU and Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Now, 2 years ago, I mentioned here at the beginning that some words were said with LSU. This is our house from now on, and Coach O's saying stuff. We'll beat them when we see them every single time. And what do you know, last year, it went from 46-41 LSU to not only them losing the next year in Alabama and everything that they did, but it was 55-17. 55-17. Let me share something else with you guys real quick. Let's look back at the history of this great rivalry, and it is a rivalry. I mean, you go back to even the 9-6 game in 2011, they rematch in 2012. Of course, LSU had a big streak going, and it took them 8 years, but they finally got back, and they went to Tuscaloosa and, of course, upset the Tide. Can they win this weekend? That's the big question. Can they get another upset? Because they are unranked, they are struggling, and Coach O is practically gone after this season. This is a series known for streaks. They first met in 1895 on November 18th in Baton Rouge, where LSU won 12-6. Then LSU won the second one 7 years later when they meet in Tuscaloosa. Alabama won 3. LSU won. There's some ties in there back when we had ties in college football. We really don't now. And it's a great rivalry. Alabama leads it all time, 54-26-5. I don't know if I want to say they own LSU, because they really don't, because obviously them beating Alabama a couple years ago, that kind of ended a big streak. All time, though, Alabama has had some great streaks for a decade or decade and a half, whatever. And yes, all time they would own LSU. Currently, they got them last year. But you look at this game, it's going to be incredible. LSU is unranked, 4-4. Alabama, number 2 in the country. This is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. So it will be a night game at Bryant-Denny. Can LSU win this game? That is my big question. And I think that they can, because it is a rivalry game. And LSU, regardless of downfall this year, they do have some good talent. They do. Hold on 1 second. So, looking at this, we looked at the history, but let's just be honest and call it what it is. When we look at this here, the game summary ESPN puts out 94.5% chance that Alabama wins this game. If you're looking for tickets, they're $74, lowest price they can get. 28.5 point spread. Now, Alabama's offense has come out of nowhere with how good they are. We knew they'd be good with Bryce Young, but it's honestly incredible. It's not what it was last year, obviously, but it's getting. I don't even know if I want to say it's close because last year's offense was just that good, but it's getting better each week, it seems like. They're scoring 49.9 points a game. They're giving up 20. On paper, the defense looks worse than I think it actually is. 28.5 point spread, over under is 66. Gonna be a good day in Tuscaloosa, too. 61 degrees. Will it be a packed house? Most likely. Um, but we'll see. But again, I mentioned they have met 85 times. 54, 26, and 5 is the record, with the Crimson Tide leading. And, on a streak of one, they won 8 games, you know, 8 games in 7 years. But again, mentioned the 2011 season. You have the 9-6 game where LSU won in the regular season, game of the century. Then the rematch of the BCS title game, Alabama shut them out 21-0. You look at the quarterbacks. It's Bryce Young versus Max Johnson. Start with my guy, Bryce Young. He's looked pretty incredible. He's only got 3 interceptions. Which isn't bad. It's not good either, but, he's making it work. He's got over 2,000 yards throwing the ball. Incredible. Bryce Young has come out of nowhere this year. I mean, I knew he'd be good. I didn't expect this. He's a Heisman contending quarterback in his first year starting like this. 187 of 267 for 2,453 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Compared to Max Johnson, he's not doing too bad himself, but he's got 5 picks, 2 more than Bryce Young. 162 of 264, 2,009 yards, 20 touchdowns, and again, 5 picks. So, on paper, yardage wise, I mean, look, LSU can throw the football. They have some key players, some key guys that I'm watching for them. I'd watch Tyrion Davis-Price, who's the running back for LSU. He's got 120 carries on the year, 6 touchdowns. He averages about 5 yards a carry, sometimes a little more, but on average, it's about 5 yards. He's got 627 yards in total. He's got 6 touchdowns. I'm also watching this guy. I saw him last year. He did pretty good. Kayshon Boutte is the wide receiver. He's got 38 catches, 9 touchdowns, 509 yards. You also want to keep your eye on the defense. They have some key guys there. Derek Stingley, though, is out indefinitely. We haven't heard anything about him coming back. At least I haven't. So if someone wants to correct me on that, you can. But he had a foot injury a month ago. He's still the top corner, probably the best defensive player. He's probably the best player available, period, in the draft. But does being out hurt his stock? I think in a way it does. But he's very talented. He's a lockdown corner, play on all 4 downs, and a guy that you want to try to lead your defense. So you have him. I mentioned some receivers: Jack Beck, Brian Thompson, Deion Smith, just some key guys. But the leading receiver for LSU is Kayshon Boutte, 38 receptions, 509 yards. I mentioned longest play is 64 yards, and he's got 9 touchdowns. Damon Clark is a key guy to watch on the defense for LSU. He's got 1 sack. He's got a pick, 2 forced fumbles, one of which he has recovered. He's got 57 tackles, and he is the lead tackler. So, for LSU being down like they are, you got to remember, it's not like they completely suck this year. They have some talent, and they're really, really good. Overall, and again, I'll try to make this one short and to the point today. LSU's not winning this game. I think that they have some good offense, though, and they might give the defense some troubles, but Bryce Young and company will get it done. Now, can they win? Absolutely. They absolutely could win this game. Any given Saturday, an upset happens. Alabama just lost to a ranked team. Alabama loses games. It's what they do. They lose a game, they use it as motivation, and they go and try to win a title. They haven't lost 2 games actually since 2019, when they lost to they lost to LSU, but then they went and lost the Iron Bowl. I don't think Alabama's going to lose another game until potentially the Iron Bowl, and if they win that, then maybe Atlanta. But they're not a national title team this year. They're just not. It's not their year, but they're still far better than LSU. Now, can LSU find the right coach after Coach O is gone after this season? And can they get back to not necessarily national title, but just competing for the West and giving Alabama some trouble? I think they could. You also got to look at this series, too. Again, we mentioned that Alabama leads at 54, 26, and 5. They shut out LSU quite a few times. They shut them out in that championship. They shut them out in 2016, 10-0. The next year in Tuscaloosa in 2017, it was only a 14-point game. And then they shut them out 29-0 in 2018. This rivalry, when they play, is known for great defenses. There's been plenty of shutouts. LSU has shut out Alabama before. Not in recent years, but they've done that. But it's mainly like there wasn't an offensive game like 2019. There wasn't an offensive game like that in the series really since Saban's first year, and LSU won, and it was in Tuscaloosa, 2007. Since 2007, this has been made on defense. Even in 2008, it was only a 6-point game. Nobody had hit 30. I think offensive game, when you say offensive game, I think anything over 30 points for both teams is what I would consider the slightest bit of a shootout. We really had not had a game like 2019 since really 06 or 07 when Saban first arrived. But it's been known for defense. I think there's going to be some good defense in this game. And quite honestly, I think there's something about the Tigers this year. I have a feeling they're going to give Alabama some trouble. You look at these stats here, they're scoring about 30.5 points per game. That's only a little bit under Alabama, maybe 2 touchdowns less. They're allowing 28. Alabama's allowing 20, right? And again, this isn't like they're not actually giving up this many or scoring this many every single game. This is just you add it all up on average. When you look at it, who's the better quarterback? Bryce Young over Max Johnson. I think that's obvious. Bryce Young, mentioned his numbers, over 2,000 yards, 3 picks, 26 touchdowns. Over 2,000 for Johnson. He's got 20 touchdowns and 5 picks. I mentioned I'm just going to make this one simple. It's going to be a primetime game under the lights at Bryant-Denny. I hope it's a close and good game. I always love these teams getting together. Even though they lost 2019, for Alabama to come back, and Tua was on like one leg in that game, remind you. One of the great, one of the many great games that he had. It was 20 points at halftime, LSU leading. And Alabama only ended up losing by 5. If they get the onside kick there at the end, they probably go down and score. Maybe they win that game. I don't know. Maybe they don't. But it was still a great game. The defensive games, the 9-6 game was interesting. Oh, they didn't score but field goals. Okay, but the defense, man, I love seeing the hard-hitting, stopping defenses. You know, I hope it's close. I hope it's going to be a good one. I don't think it's going to be too close, but it's not going to be too bad of a blowout. I think it's one of those where ultimately Alabama's just maybe these teams are close at halftime, but Bama's going to have a great second half performance that ultimately they pull away and get the victory. That being said, I'm going to say it's a good margin, maybe 2 or 3 possessions. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a 47-23 Alabama victory is what I got. I could see something like that. LSU's going to get some field goals. They'll score some touchdowns. It won't be enough to keep up with what Bryce and Jamison Williams and Mechie and all those guys on offense are going to do. And they're going to put some points up, and it's going to be a good game. And I don't have to work Saturday, so I'm probably going to go live for it too. React to it for you guys as a Bama fan and everything, and call the game. So anyway, that's pretty much it. And again, drop your score predictions. Let me know. I'm premiering this for you guys. This is on November 6, 2021, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. Alabama with a 94.5% chance to win. It's not even close. They say a 28-point spread. I don't know if Bama's going to cover it that much. I really think LSU is going to give them somewhat of a game, but Alabama's going to pull away. They're still going to win pretty big, and I say they win by 24. Again, 47-23. That's just my prediction, but you guys let me know. I love you guys. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. Hey, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. I love you guys. Jesus loves you, and as always, folks.
Okay. Roll down Tide.
Roll Tide, roll. Love y'all. Ballard's out of here.